Alright, so Jlaw decided she wanted to be Black Widow, Black Panther, and Black Swan in the same movie, and yeah, I thought she did a decent job. I know she's become that feminist that other feminists want to bash. There's people making videos pointing out the irony and her complaining about the wage gap, and she even just got nominated for a Razzie, even though she was like acting her heart out in that thing. But look, if we're just talking about this little 2-hour movie right here, I think it's worth the rent it. Let me explain. Now, this whole movie takes place overseas. Like, you're in Russia, you're in all these other foreign countries, but luckily it's 2 hours long, and they all speak English. You got the Americans who have a Russian mole they're trying to protect. The Russians are trying to figure out who the Russian mole is, and then Jennifer Lawrence is showing off every mole in her body. Here's how things play out. Dominika right here is like this super famous ballerina who performs for massive crowds. Obviously, her understudy's super jealous, and the understudy decides to make up this plan where she straight up Kevin wears her leg, so now she ain't got no job. She still has to take care of her Mathuska, and it turns out that her uncle just so happens to be like this Russian CIA guy, and he tells her, yo, go seduce this guy, become a secret agent for us, and I'll give you like a bag of rice. Now, I'm not complaining about the premise of the movie. I think it's pretty interesting, except for the fact that your secret agent is freaking famous. That's like us sending out Lin-Manuel Miranda to infiltrate a foreign country. You're just throwing away your shot. They put her in this school for like gifted Russian kids, and I kid you not, one of the classes just consists on them watching Pornhub to learn seduction. Half the time, these kids are being forced to strip. They force Coconut Head over here to give a scumbag a blowjob. It's Catholic school. She graduates with the same degree Natasha and Boris got and gets tasked with spying on Joel Edgerton, the American, but she does way more than that. I think the default love story in these kinds of movies get kind of bland, like you've seen it over and over and over again, but then they start playing with that double agent type stuff, which I think is kind of interesting. Like, she's not working with the Americans, but then gets caught and says she's working with the Americans to just get stuff for the Russians. So when they release her, she then tells the Americans that she's working with the Russians to work with the Americans to spy on the Russians. She's just on Team Joe's D, that's what she is. The biggest twist that the movie throws to you is this. The Russian mole that they're all freaking out about and looking for is Alfred. And this guy right here is a G, because he's actually part of the Russian intelligence. He's the guy who actually starts the investigation on himself. On top of that, this dude's all like, look, I'm old. Jennifer Lawrence, I'ma die, so if you turn me in, not only will you become a hero for Russia, but they'll put you in my place, and you can pretty much continue being the mole for America and continue this on for years to come. The old switcheroo. Plan's pretty much set, but then this dude appears. And I know everyone's freaking out about guns right now, but let me tell you, what this man does with a knife is horrifying. My man's actual name is Sebastian Hulk, so you know he was born to be a trained torturer. I'm talking about in this scene, he goes straight up Buffalo Bill and starts peeling Joel Edgerton's skin like a potato. Lawrence has to sit there and pretend like everything's cool so she doesn't give herself away. This thing was worse than that knife scene in The Raid 2. The thing leaves their bodies looking like Chucky's face. This thing has me wincing every time those Cutco kids try to sell me something over the phone. It's a scene that obviously sets up Lawrence to get even more ticked off than when she was making the same amount per hour as the male co-stars. So, she decides to turn in the mole. At this point, you're sitting there going, bruh, but why is this movie 2 hours long? Why are we getting random scenes of her setting up bank accounts for her uncle? Why are we seeing her copy her uncle's passport? Why is she stealing comps and planting them in her uncle's house, just continuously showing that her uncle is clearly using her to be a Red Sparrow? But damn, she plays him. Turns out that she was just playing her uncle the entire time so that she can set him up and turn him in as the mole. She ends up going back to Mother Russia in this exchange. The uncle gets sniped as they're giving him over to the Americans. She becomes a hero to Mother Russia, gets to feed her Russian mother, and continues her relationship with her American boyfriend over the phone. No wonder our country's debt is so high when they got these international calls. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts. Let me know if you liked it, if you didn't. I remember a couple years back, everyone was freaking out about those leaks that Jennifer Lawrence had. Well, yeah, she got a lot more leaking out in this movie. So let me know your thoughts about this movie. Any other ones you want me to cover. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe down below. And if you do, you can win yourself a full Red Sparrow scholarship.